Rahul Gandhi is avoiding the cameras ever since. He's not talking. So, did you have a sense of this? Did you know it would be coming? Ms. Irani, did you know that he would opt out, or were you anticipating that he would turn up finally?
Well, Arnab, I think firstly my apologies that my voice have done close to 250 speeches in the past 12 days. So I hope I'm not extremely hoarse, but yes, looking at the deepfake videos, looking at the propaganda, German-based or not, looking at the mockery that had been thrust upon me personally and that of the BJP candidature from Amethi. Today, Rahul Gandhi has decided to give a slap in the face of all such fake YouTubers by opting out of the race from Amethi. I think finally reality has hit the Gandhi family home. There is a recognition that you don't fight elections on Twitter. You fight it on the ground, on the table and amongst people. And when it comes to the people today, I'm grateful that a voter in Amethi who's aware not only of their constitutional rights and responsibilities, but also today is well positioned to do a comparative between my 5 years of service as a Member of Parliament and that of 15 years of Rahul Gandhi today, was decidedly inclined towards voting for the Bharatiya Janata Party. Knowing that the writing is on the wall, it is but natural for the entire family to opt out of the fight.
Some people like Jairam Ramesh are trying to make this look like it's a strategic, well-planned thing. You know, we are going to fight from Raebareli, and then if we win Wayanad, he's indicating that Rahul will opt out of Raebareli and Priyanka Vadra will step into a bipole. So they're looking at it, making it look like, oh, it's a strategic decision within the family on how to keep Raebareli with the family, rather than the question of chickening out of Amethi.
It's only possible, Arnab. It's only possible in the Congress party that they make losing a seat called Amethi a part of their strategy.
Yeah, I was thinking, what happened to Robert Vadra? You know, he was giving a lot of interviews.
So I'm not astounded.
What about Robert Vadra? He was saying, I have a problem with...
Well, why Mrs. Sonia Gandhi deem it fit that her son-in-law is good enough to be in Indian politics? That is a response only Mrs. Gandhi or Mrs. Vadra can give.
So, overall, you know, Smriti Irani, you seem very, very relaxed about the whole thing. Do you realize somewhere that the last 1 week, this is #1 talking point in the country? I know your throat reflects what you've been up to.
I realize that,
but do you realize? I mean, I know you're a little far removed maybe from the media attention. Everybody, every drawing room is talking only about whether Rahul Gandhi is going to fight with you. I mean, I don't think you're realizing the colossal impact of what has happened today.
But please recognize this.
Yes.
You have to recognize the fact that I've spent 10 years, a decade of my life in Amethi. And in these 10 years, I have seen the Congress, its shenanigans, its operations up close. While I may be a part of a headline one day, I fought this battle for a decade of my life. I've paid a personal cost for it, apart from political costs and professional costs. Not only me, but everybody I've loved has suffered. So today, when you see me just quietly smiling, it is genuinely a day where I pay homage to everybody who suffered, who battled, who cannot be seen on the screen today. But it's a day of vindication for them.
There's a lot of people asking us tonight to, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of live responses, people on streaming saying, tell Smriti Irani, one of the viewers says,
that
tell
Mr.
her to
Gandhi,
explain more. Sorry to interrupt, Smriti Irani, people are saying, one person on live streaming is saying, please tell Smriti Irani to explain more of what she says, what she means when she says she has gone through a lot personally for taking on the Gandhis.
I would not like to talk about the personal costs, but I would like to just highlight here that it has been 10 years of abuse. It has been 10 years of character assassination. It has been 10 years of withstanding mockery. And apart from, like I said, my loved ones facing what they did, let me just shift the conversation politically to Amethi. In 1989, Arnab, in this very seat, fought the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi against Rajiv Gandhi. Now, such is the power of the Gandhi family that this incident you will not find on any electronic link of any newspaper in India. In 1989, while Mr. Rajiv Gandhi was fighting an election against the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, the Congress party did booth capturing in 97 booths. So while you must have spent many years of your reportage talking about political leaders, let's say from the RJD or the Samajwadi Party, could this country ever imagine that in this so-called Gandhi family bastion, it is the Gandhi family that indulged in booth capturing? Such was the atmosphere of fear in Amethi that today people are coming out in hordes celebrating as though they have been finally let free. This, where I'm sitting today, 20 minutes from here, it is the Gandhi family that usurped lands belonging to farmers. And when the farmers went to court against them in the district court and lost, the Gandhi family, instead of returning the land back, dragged the farmers of Amethi to High Court. As though looting the treasury of India was not enough. Every opportunity they have got, they have looted people. And especially in Amethi, where 90% of my population, Arnab, is rural population.
Yep.
For such people to stand up against the Gandhi family is nothing less than the miracle of democracy. I'm also cognizant that the mockery by the Congress party continues, that the arrogance continues. But I'm glad that they are still arrogant about the despondency they're about to face on the 4th of June. Because it is this very arrogance that has led to their implosion and the destruction of a once famously called political first family of the country.
Yeah. It's quite clear to me this means a lot to you, and of course it does. My clear question to you, Ms. Irani, is: do you think Rahul Gandhi is a proxy candidate in Raebareli? Do you think he's a proxy for Priyanka coming in later? And are you going to campaign in Raebareli as well?
The fact...
Are you going to chase him? Because you were chasing him in Wayanad
Arnab,
last week. 2 weeks back, you chased him in Wayanad, and now some people are saying, is she going to chase him in Raebareli as well? Or is this the end of the Smriti Irani versus Rahul Gandhi fight we've seen?
Firstly, with a deep sense of humility, let me express, I am a part of the national campaigning team of the Bharatiya Janata Party. I have been a part of the national executive of the Bharatiya Janata Party 5 consecutive times from Atal Bihari Vajpayee's reign onwards to Narendra Modi's regime. I've been the national secretary of the Bharatiya Janata Party twice. I've been the national president of the Bharatiya Janata Party Women's Wing. I've spent 22 years of my life for my organization. So anybody in the Congress party who's ignorant enough to think that my political identity is dependent on a dynast who refuses to grow old or refuses to accept political realities is very, very vastly mistaken. Apart from this, I've had the good fortune of having a media career of close to 2.5 decades. I don't need a Rahul Gandhi to make a name for myself. I was already a name. And I was a name out of my own hard work. not because my daddy was a political leader.
Superb. Well said.
So I don't know
Well
what
said.
assignment my political organization will give.
Yeah.
I was assigned Amethi 10 years ago. Nobody can deny that in 2019, a simple Karyakarta of the Bharatiya Janata Party created political history by defeating the Congress party president. That had never happened in the history of Indian democracy. And nobody can deny that a simple Karyakarta of the Bharatiya Janata Party has packed up an entire family from Amethi in 2024. In 2024, with the victory of Bharatiya Janata Party in Amethi, we will yet again create history. I am the first non-Gandhi woman to win in Amethi. And I'll be the first BJP MP to be voted into office twice in a row.
No doubt about that.
That doesn't happen when you chase Rahul Gandhi.
Yeah. Yeah.
That happens when you ensure development on the ground for people.
No doubt about that. The big headline today, I don't know if you heard about it, was the Rohit Vemula case, where the news came out that the Telangana government, which is a Congress government, has closed the case and has given a clean sheet to everyone who was accused in the BJP, and especially you, that the case that had been put by the Congress against you was found to be false by another Congress government. I remember in January 2016, Rahul Gandhi stood in the campus in Hyderabad, and you were HRD minister, right? And he said that the condition for Rohit Vemula's suicide has been created by Smriti Irani and the Vice Chancellor. He particularly targeted you. You had said in Parliament, "My name is Smriti Irani. I challenge you to identify my caste. I am enraged by the manner in which a child's death is being used as a political weapon." You said, "I am taking it personally." These are your words. I will tell you how the entire incident has been used as a political tool. Ladies and gentlemen, today is a day of vindication twice over for the person on the screen, Smriti Irani. Rahul Gandhi has run away from Amethi, and the case in which Rahul Gandhi targeted her personally when she was HRD minister has been found to be an utterly false case. Some would say the damage is done, but this is not limited to Smriti Irani, viewers. I'm just giving the context. The fact is that the Rohit Vemula case, which has turned out to be a fake case today by a Congress government in Telangana, was being used for the last 7 to 8 years minimum by the Congress party to do its caste-based politics. So I want a response to you, Smriti Irani, on that huge development which happened earlier this evening. Ms. Irani.
I will only say this. There is a God and truth truly prevails. I had said then and I say now that a young man's life was reduced to a political one-man upship game, and a young man was used as a pawn on a political chessboard by Rahul Gandhi. I will only say this, that I'm grateful to God that truth has prevailed.
How do you look
And
back?
who else?
How do you look back
The
on
Congress
the case
party
at
itself.
that time? I'm sure you remember every moment of what happened at that time. You were saying, "I remember Smriti Irani, I have called up KCR, I found out about the case, I'm calling people, I'm doing the best, I even spoke to family members." But basically, my feeling is the case was used not just for a caste narrative, but also against you.
I will not disagree, Arnab, that the case was particularly used by the Congress party, and especially the Gandhi family directed the rest of the Congress workers to do what they did. But the issue is, look at Ramji ki Leela, that the person who turns out to vindicate me happens to be a Congress government.
Absolutely, it is. And Mr. Kharge is not talking when our reporters are going
This
behind
is a
him.
sensitive issue.
Yes, I understand.
It is a sensitive issue. And the fact that Mr. Gandhi could go to any lengths to lie. I hope citizens who are watching us tonight recognize how deadly and dastardly is the politics of the Gandhi family, especially Rahul Gandhi.
You know, they project themselves as very...
Many treat Rahul Gandhi as a buffoon.
Never treat Rahul Gandhi as a buffoon. Sorry. what
Allow
you
me.
say?
Many
Yeah.
think of Rahul Gandhi as a buffoon.
Huh.
But they are mistaken. There is a deadly game that he undertakes. He believes he has been preordained to rule over India. He believes that we as citizens should be obligated for his very presence. He believes that every instrument of law and legal office should only serve his whims and fancies. This is the only Indian politician, Arnab, who has the audacity to threaten officers who investigate scams. This after being a decade out of power. Imagine the dangers to this country if such a whimsical, political oligarch ever gets power.
So you're saying this projection of...
He's vindicated.
you're saying he's not just a... He's not a buffoon. He's vindictive.
No, he's not. He is.
What about
Hasn't
this?
he openly threatened officers?
Any specific information you have on which case
Hasn't he torn ordinances?
he has?
Well, he's done it in press.
Yes.
Which Indian citizen or which Indian politician have you ever seen tear an ordinance passed by the government?
That may be seen as arrogance, not arrogance, not vindictiveness, maybe stupidity, maybe, arrogance, a mix of arrogance and stupidity.
Well, on some people, stupidity is dangerous.
So then, you're saying he's vindictive, but you obviously scared him off. You scared him off. He must have had people on the ground in Amethi finding out what you're doing,
Well, I
what the
did.
campaign is.
Yes. Yes. I've said this 3 months ago. I don't know why nobody caught it. But I've said this openly, that I know that video cameras are deployed to record every word. There were some who walked into my house with a video camera hidden, trying to record me in my private residence.
They
So
sent
we fight
people,
this
they
battle in
sent
Amethi
people into
every
your
day.
house. They
We
sent
know the person we are fighting. They sent a gentleman here as well who was caught by the cops. But we are used to it in Amethi.
So who's the vindictive mind in the family between Rahul
I think what they did not
or Sonia
expect-
or Priyanka? Who's the vindictive one? It's very personal.
I
with you.
wouldn't know.
I mean, huh? You would say Rahul.
I guess it is. No, I wouldn't know who's more vindictive. Whether it's Mrs. Gandhi or her 2 kids, I have no clue.
What do you think their chances are in Raebareli now? It's all come down to Raebareli.
I think
only.
you've seen there. I think you've already seen what they're capable of. You saw how Mrs. Gandhi went after Prime Minister Modi when he was Chief Minister. You saw how Mrs. Gandhi and her entire ecosystem went after Amit Bhai.
True, true.
ये किसी के सगे नहीं, लेकिन कोई ऐसा सगा नहीं जिनको इन्होंने ठगा नहीं.
Now, what does this Amethi story reflect at a national level, Ms. Irani? At a national level, a lot of people reading into it. Because see, till yesterday,
loss for the Congress party.
Jairam Ramesh said, We want Rahul Gandhi to fight from Amethi. We want Priyanka Vadra to fight from Raebareli. We hope Rahul Gandhi will contest from Amethi. We hope Priyanka Vadra will contest from Raebareli. Now, obviously there's a disconnect between even Jairam Ramesh and the family members out here.
And I'm glad that the entire Congress ecosystem is disconnected.
What explains that? I mean, there's no conversation
That's
going
why
on.
we are winning.
So what does that explain there? You know,
Is
because
there ever any explanation for why they're disconnected from each other and from the roots, where you see development now take a firm grasp?
yeah, but Smriti ji, there are five phases of election left. 5 phases, and I think your phase is going on 20th or 21st
Yes.
of May. Everybody knows, I know, you know, everybody knows, everybody
Mine
watching
is
this
20th
interview
of May.
tonight knows that. Doesn't the Congress party know that when the person described as Shehzada by the Prime Minister runs away from Amethi, there'll be a cascading
They know.
impact in Assam, in Bengal, where they don't have any presence anyway.
They know.
They know, then why are they doing it? At this stage of an
The
election.
arrogance which is on display today is nothing but a camouflage of their shame. Can you imagine having Rahul Gandhi for a leader? At least Karyakartas of the Bharatiya Janata Party and supporters of the Bharatiya Janata Party can very proudly say that my leader will stand his ground and fight some of the toughest battles
Yeah.
without leaving his workers alone. Can any Congress party Karyakarta say that today? They can't. Which is worse than political death. So the arrogance that is on display today is nothing but the camouflage of shame for having a leader called Rahul Gandhi.
Smriti Irani, this takes one joy out of June 4th, you know. June 4th, one joy would have been to keep a camera outside your Amethi house and be the first to get you live after you beat Rahul Gandhi. But this time it's a done deal, right? So you have taken away.
The issue is, history has been written for 2019 and 2024.
Yeah.
And that history, no matter what Congress ecosystem says, can never be erased.
Okay, so what's your target this time? Last time
On
you came
June
close
4th,
to about 50% in
I,
Amethi.
along with the rest of the nation,
Huh.
will celebrate Prime Minister Modi's return to office.
What's your personal target this time?
So I'm grateful that
What's your
one of the
personal
most
target this time?
one of the most overwhelming, my target was to win. And it seems before the vote was cast, it's the Gandhi family that has pronounced and proclaimed my victory today.
Well, Smriti Irani, a lot of people loving
You
your
recognize
confidence
Arnab.
tonight.
This
Lot
is
of-
a five-decade-old. This
Yeah,
is a five-decade-old bastion.
Yeah.
This is 10 years of me, of which 5 years I lost. I've just won 5 years ago. So it's 50 years of the Gandhis and just 5 years of me.
Will you campaign in Raebareli?
If instructed by the party, I surely will.
You
By
see-
only Raebareli. I have already campaigned for the party in 5 states,
Yes, we're aware of that. You're one of the star campaigners.
along with doing 250 programs in Amethi.
Yeah. Well, I can't see any good news coming on your throat front for a while, but I wish you the best in the campaign. And I can say this to you from our viewers streaming responses, Twitter, YouTube, all our live streaming across the world where people are watching you tonight. People are amazed at the effort you put in. But they agree with me that one joy has gone out of our reporting on June 4th because it seems to be a done deal. Smriti Irani, it's a pleasure. It's a
I will
pleasure.
just-
Yes, you're saying
Can
something.
I, Arnab?
Yes,
Can I, Arnab?
yes.
As I sign off, I don't know who's listening to me tonight. But I just want to say a very big thank you for every time I was attacked. I found strength in nameless people who walked up to me and patted my back, who shook my hand, who said they supported me and blessed me on Twitter, on any other platform that they could reach out. So thank you. Today is your day as much as mine.
I'm sure a lot of people will be emotional at seeing you emotional. Smriti Irani, you've touched a chord in a lot of people, and what a fighter this lady is. Absolute fighter on the ground. I can tell you one thing, she's going to intensify her campaign and not let go after this. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Smriti Irani, for joining us tonight. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you.